So
It's super. My dude, if I had, so this is probably an end of a debrief conversation, but like I'm so mad at myself that I did not start that fight with weapons drawn. Like he's got all these cool gifts, all kinds of like crazy. He's a tandem fighter. He can like parry and counter like a demon out of hell.
We caught him on
Never
an
drew
off
his
day
swords.
where he was bored and wasn't paying
Right?
attention.
Right?
To a perfunctory thing where he assumed nothing would happen because no one would dare be so stupid.
But that's also the thing is that, like, no, he did. He was hoping that you guys would stage some sort of elaborate thing, and that's why he stashed extra archers around. Like, he wanted
Yeah, the archers
Connor
worked
to
out
show
great,
up.
honestly.
I know, they didn't do shit, but...
No, I think it was genuinely good. It worked as needed. One tower I specifically foiled unintentionally.
No, yeah, like, accidentally, but then that was 4 archer shots that you completely took out of the game, basically. So, yeah.
4
was
more
cool,
would
but-
have meant somebody would be at least hurt, probably injured, and maybe dead.
Right. So that's the thing.
Well, we
I
had
really
used
like the
everything.
game.
He almost still got away.
It's true. That's true. He almost did escape. No, I think it's good. I feel like, for me, I always kick myself because it's a little thing. Like, you glance over, like, who would take quick draw or, whatever. But then you get into these situations and you're like, man, there's like 4 steps. And if you miss one of those steps, it's all over.
Yeah, well, it's a thing that these are things that never come up in other games like Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of stuff. Or people will shout at me if I bring this up. It's like, you have to have a material component pouch, right? It's in the rules.
Right?
But GMs will just say, nah, just
Yeah, and I don't regret it. I don't think that's a flaw of the system. I think it's great. I just wish by now I had my head in the game,
And we haven't escaped yet, although I will point out there is a section in the book on escaping. So,
is there a section in the book on escaping?
Yeah, there's all this
death
stuff that's in our
scenarios.
book there's all these things that are in the book, and you always wonder why I'm asking, like, is this stuff we need to keep? Because it's stuff that's in the book and no one comments on it, and it takes up a lot of space. It's in the spot rules chapter.
I love spot rules. I'm all about it. I've spent the first half of this whole campaign trying to get a chase going.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's what escaping is. I mean, it's the opposite of chasing.
I'm gonna throw it out here now instead of later, since y'all keep talking about the one subject here. I have no idea of how now to think about response time to people that are already prepared for stuff. Because before we got into the fight with De La Vega, Red's talking about, okay, I remember the walls are this high, they've got cannons here, there's soldiers here, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, this is a military fort. These people are already got checkpoints up and down the roads. These are hundreds of soldiers that are ready for anything. So I thought, okay, gotta get out early, right? That's why I ran away at the very opening of the fight, because I figured, okay, opening shot, guns are loud, this assault is immediately going to be responded to, and here we are an hour and a half later, still fighting, and brawling with this dude across the road, and I'm like, how have hundreds of soldiers not already shown up? Why?
Well, because it's an hour and a half for us, not an hour and a half in game. It's been like a minute.
Extrapolate the time, right? Yeah, even a minute, though. The soldiers, we're next to a wall with cannons and soldiers on it. De La Vega, as Reddit's already just pointed out, was hoping for a fight. So why are there only 8 archers around? Nobles were here to watch an execution of a traitor. Why are there not? It's like, to my trying to believe that the world is real, I immediately thought, run away. Get away quickly, because we're gonna get pounced on the moment the gun goes off.
Yeah, well, we are getting pounced on right now. That's why we have to roll to escape.
I'll bring it up again at the debrief.
I mean, you sound. Do you think we should not be allowed to roll? Do you think we should just get
It has
caught?
nothing to do with the rolling. I think you should have already been destroyed by the soldiers.
We are in that situation right now.
Again,
I'll
bring it back up at the debrief. I only talked about it because we were talking about it more now.
Do you not think there's enough troops on the map? Do you think we should put more counters on the map?
I don't think that I have properly imagined this scenario right, because the way it was built up when Red prepped us again before the fight even happened. I thought this place was a military outpost scenario.
It is.
Yeah. You fired a gun, and then it's been a minute and a half and nobody's shown up, even though we're right next to a wall.
What do you mean nobody showed up? There's people on the map.
6 guys showed up.
That's the first... Yeah, 6 guys immediately attacked me, and then you put another 6 guys, like,
Again, I
later.
thought response time was going to be amazing because we're in the middle of their home base, and they have guards that are constant on supply.
Should he put more guys? Did you think there was a formation of people, like 30 or 50 people already in the courtyard?
I thought there was garrisons of people here. I thought that they would immediately respond to a gunshot.
They are.
Like I said, I was imagining a scenario which apparently was 100 times worse than reality.
I mean,
that was my problem.
It sounds like it. Like I'm. Do you think a gunshot happened?
I'm gonna say one more thing and get you guys back into the game. My disappointment comes from me running away in the first half an hour of the fight, and then sitting through an hour and a half of disappointment, realizing that I fucked up, imagining a scenario that wasn't true. Has not.
Gotcha.
Not so much throwing it out there on you. I'm disappointed in myself because I built this thing up and it didn't exist.
Gotcha. And I apologize for the disconnect. Ultimately, I did not want to choke the whole board up with characters. I wanted to keep the fight manageable in a 2 hour, again, this is the first scene of the game for today's session, and it has taken us 2 hours and change, and and with more guys it would have taken longer.
We could probably discuss this more at the debriefing, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I am totally comfortable abstracting this last part, but I do want to impress upon everyone that, you're not free and clear. There is a guard presence. I don't want to play it out to the degree where I've got 48 soldier tokens on a battle map. I feel like, to your credit, you guys did plan this out to some degree. You would have had a rendezvous point established.
We bribed a guard.
You did bribe a guard earlier, right?
And also, is Gar bugging out, or are you helping us secure an escape?
I ran away. I thought we were running away.
Okay. No, that's fine.
All my guys ran immediately because I
thought that's fine. Gar
so you guys have bugged out. You guys are probably
Gar is not
safe.
helping the escape. That's fine.
Yeah, Gar would have run into one of the gates, and at that point, probably could negotiate his way through the gate if he wanted to, because he's got political sway, right? He's got nobility, and he happens to be a negotiator. So Gar could probably get out of there with his people if he wanted to. But most people are not. There's no one coming in or out of the fort at this point. The place is locked down. There are people who want to leave, and they're not letting them. Anushka, you had talked about flying away, so I will say that there's enough guard presence on the battlements, and it was seen that there was a flying bat who took down De La Vega.
No, it's not free that I get away, but if you're asking how do I plan to get out of here, that is my plan.
Okay.
They can't physically stop me from leaving.
No, they can only try to shoot you as you do.
They could only try to shoot me down, which is, they could also attempt to pursue me, because they might actually have people to do that as well.
Yes. Triskellion bats from the Palisades.
Birds. There's birds in the book too.
And birds, I know. I was just thinking, the only flyers that spring to mind as having a relationship with Triskellion are those bats that we talked about.
There's pictures of swallows in the book.
Sure. Yeah, I know.
Ravens. So
they could just have dudes with wings hanging out.
Yeah, they might send someone out to get me. The trick is I need to get some distance, and then if I can get to the countryside, I can try to hide, because I actually have skills in that.
Okay, but it's
do you want to...
do you want to tackle that now, since it seems like you're not going to stick with the rest of the party in their escape attempt? All of those land-bound animals?
I mean, I'm not worried about the other ones. Connor can throw himself on his nobility, and the doctor can throw himself on clerical law, and Gar already left. So, and the irregulars are irregulars. So, no, this is I'm leaving.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I actually don't want to do this as a chase. So they don't have flyers ready to basically chase you down and take you out. They do have a lot of bows and arrows, to shoot at you with. So we're using the same stats that the guys with the crossbows had. And what I was thinking was 10 shots, basically, between the time that you start flying and the time that you get out of firing range. But you can reduce that with the number of successes based on your speed and stealth. Or if you have some other trick up your sleeve, if you want to try to cause a distraction or something, you could count those.
I don't.
Okay. Okay, then. So I will take speed and stealth.
Yep. Okay, I have 1 success.
Okay. 9 shots.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to type this out so I can just redo it. So,
yeah, if you use the up arrow, it lets you re-roll.
Right. I always try to get that done, but because I keep switching between text and the die roller, it doesn't work for me well, but we're going to do it this time.
Oh, I always type it out, like /roll.
Yeah, plus D.
It's weird. It's like I keep... the way I use Roll20 doesn't seem to be the way anyone else uses it.
Okay. 2d8.
That
12,
is a hit. How much is that?
They're firing with their crossbows, so it's lever crossbow, plus 2 damage. So it looks like 2, so the first shot, or hit shot.
Yep, that's gonna hurt. Let's see, and I have armor. Yeah, first shot is going to injure me.
Flesh ward, don't forget.
Well, is the flesh ward? Is it still part of the same fight? Is the flesh ward still active?
It could be, since you guys are scattering in all directions.
Then I'm hit. Next guy, you'll get a bonus D8 to hit me.
Okay, so I got to update my thing. This is 3d8.
I haven't been applying range dice because you said they had well fletched.
Yes, they've got the priciest arrows.
They're using the pricier arrows in the first volley.
Yeah. Okay. Second attack.
Like a siege. All right.
All right. That's a tie.
That is a tie, and it is the sky, which means there's nothing to actually hide behind. So that is a hit.
Okay. It's a 3-point hit.
Yep. Hold on. Let me soak that. Hopefully I can. Damn it. All right. I'm hurt and afraid.
Okay. Shot 3.
That one I'll dodge.
Okay. Dodge. Shot 4.
That one I dodge.
Nice. Shot 5. 10. Damn.
That one I'll dodge.
Shot 6.
Phew.
Nice. Shot 7. You got 2 more.
That one is a hit, and I am hurt.
Okay, so that becomes 4 points of damage at you.
4 points of damage. That is going to be a little tricky.
Oh,
I will soak 2 of it. I'm hurt and afraid again.
Okay. Shot 8. Tie.
Once again, that's the sky, so that is a hit.
1 point, so 3 points of damage.
I'm hurt, so it's 4.
4 points of damage. Right.
Soaked. Wow, this hurts today.
Nice. Okay, last shot. Here we go.
I bought up my will.
Yeah. 8s. Dodged. Okay.
All right, so I will fly. They will shoot. and like they'll start reloading, and it's like they're not down. Dispatch the flying squad to go get them.
Right. Yeah.
And that's when I'll have to go nap of Earth. And unfortunately, the Three Corners Fort is a fort, which means they've gone and they've cleared out a lot of the stuff that's outside of the walls. Are they currently in a military situation?
Well, I mean, there is war happening to the north of them, but no one was attacking them directly. So,
because historically, what you'll get is you'll get what are camp followers. Like people will show up and build shanty towns outside of the fort.
Right.
And even though that's illegal, it's like going in there and driving all of them off is usually a bad idea. It depends on whether they want to spend effort doing that or not. So
this is people who are looking for the safety of the fort, so that like if a battle wages, they have. Is that like I'm trying to understand
selling shit?
Okay.
Like people offering services. I love how Warhammer equivocates saying camp followers. People like do your laundry and mend your pots, and they never mention
prostitution.
Yes, they somehow don't mention that. So there might be structures and other stuff to hide behind, or they might have bulldozed all of them by order of, the king might have said, "Okay, prepare for war. Get rid of everything around the fort."
Right. I see the Rinaldi throne as having a lot of resources, not too much they have to control. So I feel like they only have like 2 main outposts on the whole map, basically. Right. I think they're well equipped. I think they would keep the place clear. They're also technically not in a war currently, so they're not
so discipline's probably low. So that would mean that after going up over the wall and getting shot at, I would then go down low, and my goal is basically to mix in with the buildings and shrubbery and trash piles and mix in with the camp followers, because that's when my low profile would trigger in. Of course, that means they're going to send a bunch of guys out saying, "Hey, we're looking for a trader. If you see anybody who matches this description, start looking for me." But that's how I would lay low. If I could find Gar, I would ideally rendezvous with Gar if Gar told me where he was going to be.
That's up to you guys. Again, you had ample time to prep this plan, so you could set up like a rendezvous point.
I look at Gar. Did you tell me where you were going to be?
I'm also confused because I thought he just said they kept the no shantytown area. He just cleared it out.
Well, I
also don't know where Gar would have found. I didn't think that through when I ran.
That's what I would also think. The Rinaldi are not known for their high levels of discipline, but that could have changed when Vaslov showed up.
Well, no, that's not even the case. Maybe this is me not really fully understanding the social mechanics of camp following, but there's no like action happening at Three Corners Fort, so I don't know if that means there would be communities around it.
That would probably mean that there's Woodstock. I'm trying to describe this like Woodstock, right? The concept of Woodstock.
But also, have they not gone up an alert a little bit because the Doloro have taken over doing things in an area that they...
Yeah.
Because remember, the Doloro took over control of the...
Did they bulldoze all the hobo villages or not?
I'm going to say yes, because this is the tense area. It's a tense situation.
Case, I would rendezvous with Gar next. Gar, did you tell me where you went?
I'd have to establish where I was going, because I didn't think about that. I didn't know that...
Well, you were leaving the fort.
I wasn't planning on leaving the fort. I thought we were just running...
you didn't even leave the fort. You just went to ground.
I guess so. I would have just done my normal noble lifestyle shit, because I would assume that doing anything else would raise attention on myself.
Well, then I will have to take wing and just keep going. I suppose, I would just take wing and endurance is what I've got. If there's nowhere to hide, I have to just keep going.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is put distance between me and the rest of them and hope to rendezvous with them later.
Right. You picking a direction?
Well, we're still on good terms with the Doloro, so north it is.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Connor.
You're not really. It's avoirdupois. Yeah.
Yeah, Connor's avoirdupois. So east, I would go east.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Let's see what everyone else is planning to do. The people who were left holding the bag, mostly the people who still have, death row criminals now under their care, would be the doctor and Connor. So what's the plan?
Well, if it were just myself, I could go ahead and probably try to blend in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's several other people here to take care of, most notably Sir Connor, and I have to ask Sir Connor, what is your plan to escape?
Well, you would definitely hope to get out of there with the least amount of contact with the guards as possible, but if they should run across them, then Potter and his regulars would either go past or go around, and he would then either catch up to them or he'd have to catch up with them. But I envision him getting lots of fights on the way.
Right.
Right. I'm probably going to try avoiding fights here.
Gotcha.
I'll describe it once we just figure out how Sir Connor goes.
I could use my deceit to get through this, but I don't have any, I'd have to find that robe again to disguise myself once more.
Right, yeah. I feel like trying to abstract this in a way that's still true to the mechanics. The courtyard would be swarming with guards shortly after the death de la Vega. So at that point, I imagine you guys would break out into a run. You would try to get to there are camps, tents and camps and some permanent buildings within the fort itself.
Mm-hmm.
Places where you could hide or try to blend in with groups. A lot of the people that are in the fort are now kind of congregated around the exits, the gates. They're not being let out, but there are now crowds around each of the gates. And it means that there are fewer crowds to actually blend into. So you're probably just playing literal hide and seek. With wagons and carriages, tents and buildings, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I will say I do have two friends who do have Streetwise. They too need a bug out plan, and me going with them sounds like a reasonable choice. If there's anyone who has a place to hide among any elements or an escape route, it probably would be them.
Okay, I like that.
The simplest thing I can imagine is the doctor going low profile with them, using some sort of bribe we got before to leave through, what are the small doors called for fortresses? That you're supposed to use without opening the big gate.
The side entrances?
I'm trying to remember, because there's a term for that specific type of door.
Probably.
The last campaign we did, we actually tried to do an assault through one.
What kind of door?
It's the door that was Legolas exits through during one of the many Lord of the Rings keeps. There's the main drawbridge,
yeah,
right?
There's the big door and there's a smaller door in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sort of door.
Yeah, you build.
There's a specific name for it, but I don't remember.
Several. I didn't know there was a name for it, but yeah, there's always a smaller door inside the bigger, wider door.
Mm-hmm. So this would be a case of streetwise contacts and bribing ahead of time.
Okay. I like the argument there.
So if you would want, I could maybe have the doctor roll negotiation with some assistance bonus from his friends, because they're the ones setting it up and allowing it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then see how much the charge would be for, hey, I'm going to try leaving very quickly, you're just gonna let me out later.
Okay, well, let's roll for it and see.
Okay. So we'll see how well that kind of plan goes. My negotiation, I have will, I have 2d8. And if I have 2 assistants who have streetwise, that is additional 2d8. Let's see what else I got. I don't think I have any insider that applies. These aren't the bandits, these are the fort guards.
Right.
They probably aren't pious. And this doesn't apply etiquette. It looks very narrow for any kind of social gift here. So I'm basically just rolling these dice right now.
Okay.
That is at least 2 successes.
All right. So, 2 successes. You've got this plan. You've made contact with a guard who has agreed to, for a generous bribe, open one of these side passages up for you. And you probably have... Well, you didn't include your insider with the Chroma bandits, did you? Right?
No, I didn't. Would you like me to? This is the guard who technically is on their side or has contact with them before. If so, I'll roll a d12.
That's okay. The tricky thing, I guess, is really bribing this guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you do get a guard who does agree to help you out for a generous bribe. Once you get there and you make it to the door with your hostages in tow, he's changed his tone. He is still willing. He still has the keys. He's dangling them in front of your face. He says that it seems to me that you're rats in a trap. Literally, all of you could be broken on the wheel for treason to the crown at this point. I'm the only thing that stands between you and freedom. So I want basically everything you have, and I'll let you out.
All right, so he's going for literally everything on this success. Okay. I will give him my incredibly expensive book, my incredibly expensive electrum rod, and my other clerical trappings. These are valuable things, and I will give him all the money I have.
Okay.
So I am out all of my clerical trappings and all my money.
Yes. And remember, with your trappings gifts, you can get that stuff back.
I can get it back, but I won't have it.
But you won't have it for the immediate time being. Connor, are you joining him in this escape attempt?
I would highly suggest it, Sir Connor. Please come with me.
Unless you have another idea.
Unless you could choose to not give up everything, of course. Or at least not give up 204 denarii.
Well, do we have enough time for me to negotiate for my own passage?
You could make another attempt out there.
You might do worse than 2.
Right, this guy is a guard that was sort of bribed in advance, and this whole exit has been set up. If you wanted to have gone through your own channels, you can make your own roll. This roll was made with the assistance of people with Streetwise.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Yeah. If nothing else, the bandits secured their way out, and now I had to pay an arm and a leg to get out as well.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's probably robbing everyone. I mean, the prisoners, he's taking their manacles. Like, no one is getting through this door with their underwear intact, because this guy just sees that he's in a position to take whatever he can from y'all, and I think he would.
Well, I mean, asking everyone to disrobe and disarm their armor would be a case of minutes where they're literally right behind us. That just is an impossibility. Right. But dropping other things is possible.
I'll just give him a handful of dinar, and
I'll clarify once more when we're done.
So however many monies you think that is, I'll drop it in his hand.
I think he's going to take everything you got. Like, ultimately, I mean, I can see the point where it's just like we don't have time to, like, take our expensive alumen armor off. Mm-hmm. But he's like, I've got all the time in the world. Like, at any moment, I could whistle, and I'm on the good guys' side. You guys are the outlaw villains who are also traitors to the throne, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright then, he gets everything.
Alright. Yep. It's a pleasure doing business.
And I'll just go ahead and clarify myself here real quick. So, all my money, all the clerical trappings. He wants the medicine. I imagine.
She'll take the medicine. He might leave you the medicine. I don't know. How esoteric is this medicine, right?
It's not very esoteric.
Okay, if it's standard issue like medicine that you could sell to somebody, then yeah, I'll take that too.
I got an oil lantern. I got rich clothes. He probably likes that. I have actual travel grub, which I probably need to eat. Does he want to take, like, an entire armful of rations?
This is a weird case where we're assuming that you actually are walking around carrying all of this stuff, and to do so, I'd imagine it would be in bags or satchels or sacks. So, yeah, he's basically like, just drop everything you got, just drop it. Put it in a pile over here, step over this way, and I will unlock this door and lock it behind you.
The first aid kit. Can I keep that? Oh, do you want all the chapbooks? The noted weed. Yeah, you can have the noted weed.
He's taking the noted weed. The one thing he would leave you is probably the chapbooks. That's the one.
My nice hat. Like, he doesn't need the wooden crown. This is completely pointless to him. Hey, do you want this unholy necromantic research and talismans, which will tell you where you can go to necromantic ritual site to gain ultimate power? I didn't.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Congratulations, you're a part-time necromancer. Enjoy. I'm keeping the research notes.
Oh, I wonder, right? That's curious because that stuff is super illegal to have. But this guy's got underground contacts. I'm sure he can move it.
I'm sure he can figure out what to do with it. Alright, so that stuff is gone. I have the wooden crown, my paper research notes, probably some charcoal paper in the chapbooks, and maybe the first aid kit. And apparently he left me the doses of medicine and the lantern too.
No, he's taking that stuff. He's going to take your medicine and he'll take your lantern. He'll leave your chapbooks and your clothes.
Alright. Well,
okay.
There we go. I have some paper.
You got some paper?
There we go. I've marked that all down for deletions for later.
Okay. You could put it, remember, some of this stuff is trapping. Anything that's part of your trapping gift.
I can't believe you took my nice hat. I paid 7 denarii for that.
Man, that must
have wearing it on my way out.
Ages ago. You had a hat and a crown. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Connor, it's basically the same treatment for you, unfortunately. In fact, most of your gear is probably even worth even more money.
Well, if he's keeping track, knife, dagger, saber, buckler, mace, mangos, element armor, backpack, blanket, mug, 22 pieces of rope, a 2-man tent, fire kit, whetstone, and the flask.
I'm just imagining every piece, everything just like clattering to the ground one after the other. And this guy's
like
just
to start a career as an adventurer? Well, here you are.
Here you go. He's just licking his lips. He's just like, oh yeah. We're gonna eat well tonight, boys.
All of my worldly possessions, but I love worldly possessions.
No! Being aesthetic sucks.
I'm offended.
Okay. Alright. Well, after this very humiliating scene, the doors open, you can taste the sweet air of freedom on the far side. We'll say this is also by the eastern gate, so you can see through the mists, through the rain. The Via Salutis, still paved with stone at this point, and it's this close to Triskellion, heading east. And yes, you can tell that you're going to have to keep a low profile until you get clear of the control area. And when you do, you will still find yourself in Doloro territory, which is itself still rather hostile. So it's not a great day for everyone. Adris because you did not implicate yourself whatsoever in the freeing of the prisoners or the assassination attempt, you basically are just free to go later that evening, maybe the next following day after they've combed the place and determined that somehow the villain slipped through their fingers. The question of where you guys want to meet up is up to you, but I would recommend retconning in some sort of plan or rendezvous point, because otherwise...
Well, since we are being pushed back east, I would probably just say to Eloge as the next nearest location.
Right. Okay, then. I'm going to move the token.
And I guess for what it's worth, with our good friend in tow, I'm trying to remember name of her name again.
Colette. Colette actually wasn't with
yes.
you. She's still up in Harmony.
Colette likely would not be there, and I imagine the day before we would literally say, just head out in this direction, we'll meet up with you like the next day.
And I
which direction would that be? Sorry, Griff. What direction was that in?
Probably the escape direction, which is back east.
To Eloge, okay. And then, Arik, you were saying?
This might be a good location for me to be able to refresh my signature item gift.
Yeah. You guys can use your trappings gifts to rearm signature items.